Meanwhile, at the Hall of Cage.
This is my snakeskin jacket, and for me, it's a symbol of my individuality and belief in personal freedom.
Oh God, not the bees.
Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey.
What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save the fucking day.
How absurd.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
How absurd. I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. How absurd.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
How absurd.
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
How absurd.
Well, I think you better pull the trigger, because I don't give a fuck.
How absurd.
I never disrobed before gunplay.
How absurd.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Caging Greatness, your premier Nicolas Cage-themed podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing the new film, and by new, I mean it dropped yesterday, Willy's Wonderland, and also how Thomas Jefferson is an insufferable prick. Today, I have my estimable co-host with me, as always, recently returned from an unearthed John Wayne cooking show viewing called A Million Ways to Pie in the West. We have my friend Cannon.
Hello, everybody. It's me. I'm here. It's been a long day. Just cracked open a cold one. Not the right cold one, apparently, but still, the sound is better. And we're going to find out if this film was a national treasure or just going to say next.
Already trying to upstage me. And we have Pat.
Hello, everyone. It's Peakant Pat.
And Jonathan.
It's Blueberry Jonathan.
He just dabbed for those of you that can't see it, which is all of you, because we don't video record these.
It's audio only.
It's hard enough to listen to ourselves back. We're not going to watch it, too. So.
I don't know. I'd watch it.
I wouldn't.
No, absolutely not. I don't even like looking in the mirror. I'm not going to watch a video of me.
Mirror.
I'm like, I don't want to look at my goblin ass.
Yeah, that shit sounds terrible. All right. So, very briefly, let's all give our rating and a quick summary before we get into the meat of Willy's Wonderland. What a fantastic double entendre that was. Cannon?
Well, I'm assuming we're going by the 5-star scale.
Sure.
That we're familiar with from Letterboxd. I'm giving it a 1.5 stars. I could, of course, give you said just a brief sentence?
Yes, brief summary just to sum it up.
Okay, well, I will say when Nick was, spoilers, beating the shit out of animatronic animals, it was good times. When the camera was, trying to constantly make me want to vomit. But all I'll say is it gets 1.5 stars for urinal curb stomps and Pinball Wizard's O-Face. And that's all I got to say about that.
Pat, what did you think?
I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. Whereas I had a good time at the fun parts, though some of the, let's just say, the emptier moments left me wanting more, and it felt like it was struggling to fill out its already short runtime.
Okay, for mine, I'm going to consult Mr. Otto the Octopus right here.
Hi, Otto. How are you doing? He doesn't have a mic.
He looks mad.
Yeah, we don't let Otto near the mic anymore.
Yeah, he'll stay some not kosher shit. Judging by his face, I wasn't a huge fan. 1 star. My sort of 1 minute, my 1 sentence review. Nick Cage is great. Everything else is a cinematic failure.
Now I'm going into hostile territory with people who vehemently disagree with me.
Honestly, I would say I have to show me disagree with you. I'm like,
you're on the. So honestly, it's a lot like being back in high school. I gave it 4.5 stars. I adored this movie because it's everything I hoped and wanted it to be, and then some. And I have taken a plethora of notes. Jonathan has a handful. Cannon has the scars burned into his memory.
Yes.
And Pat, I think, had one or two things that really stuck
some of my
out.
notes are more so like behind the scenes stuff.
Sure.
Also, I just want to go on record. I gave it a 1.5. I didn't say I didn't like enjoy everything, or like hate everything. I mean, I didn't. I hated a lot of things, but the little nuggets that we got that were good shit, they were good shit.
We talked earlier before the show. None of us regret watching the movie at all. Although we will say there will be probably a barrier entry for the film is that it's currently only on video demand and it's $20 to rent or buy. So that might be a bit of a gamble for you, depending, because from what I've been able to tell, the reviews have been really varied, so much so that the letterbox is currently sitting at like a 3. So like you have a lot of people that's like, oh, I love this campy, wacky bullshit. Other people are like, I hate every moment of this film.
It's very polarizing. Like, it's Rotten Tomatoes as of right now, I think it's like a 58% from the critics. And it varies wildly from things like, there's no fun to be had here, versus, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And that one wasn't even me. I agree wholeheartedly, but it wasn't me.
Justin's actually review bombing in the positive for the movie.
That's right. I'm going to propel this sumbitch to 100%.
Like, he's just making all these burner accounts 5 stars.
Well, I will say, just for shits and giggles, I did go to Letterboxd to like read the reviews, and like, I guess it was almost like a live tweeting situation where I came across Jonathan's. Yours popped up twice, actually. Review so nice, they posted it twice. It was
Roll fucking Tide.
So, just as a warning for anyone listening up to this point, we will be discussing spoilers for every second of the movie.
obviously.
So full frontal spoilers for
That
the
is
film.
right. Now, if someone had spoiled this whole movie for me, it would have changed nothing. I loved every second of it. I think the thing that stands out most to me that I honestly enjoyed, even though you think I wouldn't, is that Nicolas Cage doesn't say a single word through
Just-
the entire runtime.
Just a few grunts and groans, but
Yeah.
other than that,
That is one of the
nothing.
things I
Fucking
really like.
nothing.
It's one of the things I really like about this movie.
That was one of the things I didn't like about this movie.
Oh, okay.
I have my reasons.
He wanted to see some Cage vamping.
Yeah, exactly. I was wanting to like balls to the wall, like just fucking like Madhouse Cage.
But Madhouse Cage is fun, but this is quiet, understated, destroying animatronics while having 10-minute stare downs with a weasel Cage. Like,
Stare downs were epic.
they
While
were
also
so-
wanting to fuck a pinball machine.
that
Oh, he
pinball
did.
machine.
That was a very erotic
Yeah.
time he had with his
And
pinball.
I love pinball. I can't say I love it that much, but you know, to each their own.
Well, clearly he's a man of passions. He likes fast cars, pinball machines, and energy drinks.
Yeah, because Cage is really
Yeah.
gulping down the Grey Pico
He
in
was
this movie.
religious about his
I
brakes.
thought it wasn't it just I was like looking at those can labels the whole time, and I deciphered after like seeing like bits and pieces of the can that had to have been like a fruit punch soda or fruit pop. It did say pop.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like grape soda to me.
Ugh,
Yeah.
God, that just ruined everything. Now I'm going to change my rating. It's getting a 1 star now. Grape
Well,
soda.
Well, then I'm going 1.5.
Oh,
I love grape
flipped
soda.
on the grape
that's
flavored soft drinks.
No, like the first note that I have for this movie is I will never be as cool as Nick Cage stepping out of his car in the opening scene.
Well, funny you mentioned the whole drink scenario. You want to know what my first note was?
Huh.
Ew, this dude is drinking hot trunk soda. Gross.
I mean, he did refrigerate it
I mean, yeah, after the fact, but still, wait.
and then used it as a weapon.
But apparently he has
He
like
did.
a schedule for his soda time.
Yeah, no, they told him take regular breaks, and he, being a military man, as judging from the dog tags, was very, very into the idea of regular breaks, to the point where my favorite scene, I think, he and the survivor girl, because there's a Scooby gang of teenage fuck-ups who all but one die, and it's glorious. It's exactly what you want to see from these things. They're terrible, terrible actors. They're clearly stereotypes. I think they did it on purpose. But he's down with the survivor girl, and they're standing up against a frog thing that had just killed the dude who wants to fuck the survivor girl.
Yeah, Can't Be Chameleon.
Thank you. And they're about to throw down. They're in their fighting poses, and all of a sudden, Cage's watch goes off because it's break time, and he just hands the knife to this 17, 18-year-old girl and walks the fuck away.
That was great.
To go play pinball and have his soda. And when his break is over, he walks back casually and just wraps a cable around the thing's neck and just drags it through a hallway with a 2-punch hallway fight. It is incredible.
Yeah. Some of the animatronic fights are very wild and protracted, and some of these animatronics have glass jaws. But it is funny to see over the course of the film Nick Cage just brutalizing some of these animatronics.
And the first one, he doesn't even bat a fucking eye. He's just standing there, turns around, there's an ostrich in front of him. He's like, well, I guess I got to kill this thing. And he just fucking murders it.
He fucking pulls a fatality on this motherfucker. Just rips that fucking spine out.
Which was my review for the movie Nick Cage for the next Mortal Kombat DLC.
And honestly, I agree.
Awesome.
They named Johnny Cage after him.
Yeah.
Because, there was supposed to be a Jean-Claude Van Damme video game, and then he pulled his likeness out, and that's when they made Mortal Kombat. And Johnny Cage was going to be the Van Damme character. Since they couldn't use him, they picked another actor, Cage. And the more you know. Right, but the premise, we need to set up why he's in this place killing animatronics, right? So he's driving through a podunk town, and he runs over a spike strip that we learn later has been placed there by the locals because they've made a satanic deal with these animatronics that are inhabited by the souls of serial killers, which is my favorite sentence I've said this week. And in order to pay for it, they don't take cards because they have no internet, of course. So there's no ATM. So he has to clean up Willy's Wonderland. And so he's locked in there, murdering animatronics, and then cleaning in the middle of it.
He's completely nonplussed by all the horror and shenanigans that happen over the course of the film. He just, whenever something decides to fuck up, he fucks up right back.
His whole attitude can be summed up with the phrase, of fucking course this is what happens. And it's so good. But I'm clearly in the minority on that.
Because the thing is what you're describing are the parts I really enjoyed about this movie.
And that was most of the movie's runtime, if we're being real. It was the solid 65% of the movie's runtime. Maybe 70.
To me, it felt like 20. And the rest, the surrounding plot with these teenagers, the cops, this outside cop,
the exposition teenagers, we needed them.
But it works so well because they're clearly mocking that trope. They're not being serious.
Obviously, Bubble Girl. What the fuck?
The teenagers get introduced, and then 90% of them are murdered within 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're knocked out in pretty quick succession. Although, they are very stereotypical. Some might be a little uncomfortable because there's a black teenager who's very stereotypically black. We gotta get the hell up out of here and shit like that. And then there's a teenage girl who's dressed like a cartoon drawing of a prostitute.
Pretty accurate. And of course, those are the two that end up fucking in the happy fun room.
Yeah,
where the serial killers made a satanic dealing with the devil, and where their bodies are now in the animatronics. So then the town forms a deal with them so that they
feed
will
them visitors. Yeah.
Because the animatronics, they would leave the building and would kill people in the town. In order to curb that, it's stop killing people in the town, and we will let people outside of the town be your blood fuel.
Yeah, that whole part just is. You know what I thought of during that part? Hey, let's go into the room where people off themselves. I'm sticky wet right now. Let's do this.
That was the point. Supposed
Yeah,
to be
I know, but you know who
ridiculous.
did it better? Whatever insurance commercial was like, why don't we get in the car? No, let's hide behind the chainsaws.
I mean, that's accurate. But I mean, that kid though had some of my favorite lines in the entire movie,
That is-
including the part where they went into the room, and she's like, "This is getting me kind of horny," and he's like, "Oh, you a freak?" I thought that his delivery, like that kid's gonna be a star, out of any of them, especially more than Survivor Girl, who was terrible,
Yeah,
and the crusty
she was
old
bad.
sheriff, who I know I've seen somewhere else. I don't remember what the hell she's
She's
from.
been in a lot of movies. Like her,
oh,
like
yeah.
pigeonholing is like
Yeah, she's-
like authority,
yeah.
like conservative types.
Very well known character actor.
Her name is
For
Beth
face.
Grant, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
That's my great aunt.
She was in such classic movies as No Country for Old Men,
Well.
Little Miss Sunshine, Rain Man, The Artist, the original Speed, Rango, Child's Play 2, Eddie Murphy, Dr. Dolittle, Pearl Harbor, Donnie Darko, and Southland Tales.
I hope that like everyone can hear the host of the podcast phone going off in the middle of his own podcast.
I'll have you know that was my reminder to meditate today because I'm trying to better my mental health.
And that's good. But put your fucking phone on silent, you rude bastard.
I thought it was. Maybe this can serve as a reminder for all of our listeners to go meditate for 5 to 10 minutes a day
It's not that
because
long.
it improves your overall mental health. It's very good for you. And you can use the time after to watch WandaVision, you fucks. What's wrong with you? Hurry the
mean,
fuck up.
hello.
This
There's only
week's
3 weeks
episode-
left, y'all.
This week's episode, my God. I had to get that plug in there. I wonder what we're going to tell them to watch when WandaVision's over.
Falcon the
Falcon
Winter
Winter
Soldier.
Soldier, probably.
It's
We
fair.
just, we
Very
just tell
fair.
y'all to watch the Marvel shows.
I want
Wa-
to go.
Watch Marvel.
Just want to go back a little bit. The tow truck driver.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
guy, his whole first scene, I was just like, it's like the worst Boomhauer impression I've ever heard in my life. I couldn't make out a single fucking thing he was saying. Thank God for the subtitles for once.
But again, that was the point. Kate's
Yeah, I
just
know.
looking at him.
And plus, he had a fat ass like beef jerky stick in his mouth the
Also,
whole movie.
if I'm not,
I think
yeah,
it was,
beef jerky
was
stick.
it beef? I thought it was a cigar.
Nope,
They just didn't.
it was a
that
beef
was
jerky
totally a
stick.
beef jerky
Really?
stick. Yes.
So I thought it was cigar. It's like that looks like meat. And it was a
That's-
beef jerky.
If not,
I mean-
like, if anyone out there is listening who likes to, like dissect people with with possibly beef jerky in their mouth, let us know if we're right, because I'm like 95% convinced that was no cigar. That
Yeah, I
was
mean,
fucking jerky.
It was never lit. I just
Yeah.
thought it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I like to smoke my stogies.
If I'm not mistaken,
Well, I mean,
didn't Nicolas Cage put that spike strip in the trunk of his car?
I don't think he did.
I think he did.
But
Like,
I think they put it in there. Didn't they put it in there to take it back to the sheriff?
I don't even think that they showed up at that point. I remember him just like randomly throwing it in the trunk, just waiting on somebody to pull up.
That's fair. I mean, he was probably waiting to give it back to whoever needed it because I didn't know. I was busy writing down, "I will never be as cool as Nick Cage stepping out of his
I gotta
car."
return this to whoever's trying to the hills have eyes me.
But I love this movie again. The Scooby Gang. They were like so fucking forgettable,
The Doobie Gang.
and like that's the best part. Is that it's like they're mocking all these tropes in the middle of 10-minute stare downs with weasels, animatronic weasels.
there is a lot of held eye contact in the movie. Was one of my sort of, I guess, cons for the film is that the movie's only 89 minutes, but it kind of felt like it didn't really have enough plot to fill out 89 minutes, and I feel like there's just a lot of quote dead air. Like it felt like there's a lot of empty space in the film.
I don't know how, but that movie felt way longer than 89 minutes to me.
And again, I'm on the other side of this. It's just, I thought the dead air, especially him cleaning, because like the time of the exposition dumps, those were very, very quick for that sort of movie. Like it was like obviously over the top. It was supposed to be silly.
I don't know.
And-
The one with Survivor Girl dragged a bit.
Yeah,
I remember
and it
that
was-
one lasting a hot minute.
Yeah, that was really clunky.
Because like we said, there are two. All the plot comes in two exposition monologues and like
Yes.
sort of like a quarter to 3/4 way through the film where the survivor girl, she explains the dark and sordid history that sort of colloquially known to the residents of the disappearances and the deaths. Then her adoptive stepmother cop lady who's in on the biz, she explains like her history with it, like the actual deep dark, like how it got started and why we perpetuate this blood feud or this blood pact, and like that whole thing, her weird guilt around the survivor girl, her adopting her, even though she was facilitating the parents' death.
Yeah, which I also don't buy, because the first scene with her, she handcuffs her adopted daughter to a wall and it's like, here's a piss and shit bucket.
Yeah.
There's some chips on the counter.
Yeah, the lady sheriff, they definitely made her completely despicable. So that when she's, spoiler, ripped in fucking half at the end.
Which was rad.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
Also, how the fuck is she supposed to reach the chips? She's handcuffed to shit.
I don't think they really cared.
I know.
Well, she's only tied to the toilet for like 3 minutes until like her hood rat gang shows up.
Like, yeah, the Kmart brand Scooby Gang.
Yeah, and then about like halfway in the movie, we cut back to the sheriff, and they introduce this outside police officer who's just annoying.
He was
That's-
yeah.
Trying to do good. He was trying to do good.
He was trying to do good.
But then he
It's
gets mauled by a
supposed-
turtle.
Supposed to be over the top. Was that a turtle? I thought it was like the Mexican bird with a
No,
poncho.
it was
sombrero.
Tito the turtle, who
Tito the
happened to
turtle.
be a Mexican stereotype.
Okay, yeah. No, who also had some of the best lines in the movie, because it's all subtitled because he's speaking Spanish. My favorite line: "I my balls," because Survivor Girl just starts she takes a shotgun, starts wailing on his animatronic testicles.
Because I do think it's funny that this giant ass animatronic has somehow instant Dragon Ball Z instant transmission on top of the cop car, like pickpocketed the keys and the bullets out of the shotgun.
shotgun
It's like
shells.
over here, Survivor Girl.
Well, I mean, if Jason Voorhees can do it, why not an animatronic Mexican turtle?
No, that wasn't so much a concrete as just like an explanation of what happened.
Yeah.
Also, with that scene in particular, when Survivor Girl starts running away, you could see the cop is just still breathing.
Oh, I didn't
You
even
saw
notice
his
that.
breath. It was obviously cold when they were shooting this film,
Yeah.
so
Nobody
plume of
ca-
skin. Like, Survivor Girl, help with people and the surviving part.
Yeah, because
You don't just bounce out. Like,
she was like-
either that or, dude, stop breathing. You're dead in this scene.
she was like
Dude,
guilt
yeah.
tripping them to like, okay, yeah, you're being a bad guy for going along with this shit. You need to save people, you need to keep people alive, and she's just like, a cab, bye.
Yeah, bye. Like, completely.
Fuck the police, am I right?
Look, and we've missed one essential character who I think could have been the star of his own spinoff movie, and that's the owner of Willy's Wonderland. This Doug Dimmadome looking motherfucker.
Tex McAdoo.
Tex fucking McAdoo. That is the
What?
greatest villain name.
Also,
What a
he had the
name.
longest ass cigar, did he not?
Right? And the fakest mustache.
An actual cigar this time.
I loved it.
Yeah, a fucking $5 foot long mustache, or excuse me, cigar.
Like, they made this movie with the idea of let's watch Nicolas Cage kick the shit out of Chuck E. Cheese robots, and everything else is fine. Fuck it. Well, whatever we film today is what we get. Nobody cares.
One takes here, folks.
Like, the cop was still breathing because they didn't care to make him stop breathing, and he's a
Yeah.
bad actor, you know? And it's just like Nicolas Cage is duct taping his wounds.
He's doing his good Nelly impression.
Yeah, I mean, he did have the duct tape right under the eye.
And the thing is, I didn't come into this movie expecting fucking Citizen Kane.
Yeah. I mean, no, not at all.
But like even taking in the like, oh, this is sort of like tongue in cheek. This is probably somewhat intentional, or just like,
I would say entirely intentional.
or they just didn't.
I do
care.
get like Sharknado vibes from this. I feel like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, but
when they
it's,
made
it's one of those things where there's a fine line of like suspension of disbelief with that, I guess is the term, or like acceptability. And for me, I'm firmly into the like, I get what you're trying to do. This just isn't my thing. And normally I'm all about like just weird campy shit like this.
I
But
mean, don't you love Rubber?
Rubber?
The movie Rubber about the tire with psychic powers?
I have that. This is
Have
the
you
first.
never seen Rubber?
No, I've heard the myth. I've
Oh
never
my
seen this
God.
movie. No, it's
You
a
guys-
tire that kills people.
This is the first time I have ever heard of this.
You
movie.
guys have to watch Rubber. It's so weird
Okay.
and meta. You need to write that down. You write down that you need to watch Rubber. It's
Okay.
about a psychic sentient tire that kills people with its
Watch
powers.
Rubber.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm
Van
looking at it
Wilder.
now.
Write that down.
Letterboxd. It's a 2010 movie. It has a giant ass tire and a hoochie mama standing next to it.
Oh, it's so like there's an audience in it that's supposed to represent the people watching, and then the tire kills them. Like it's fucking weird. I am shocked that you like with your hipster indie bullshit. Like I'm shocked that you don't know Rubber. How have I seen Rubber and you haven't? You've
Clearly,
got-
they're
It's like I know many things about films. I've
Running
seen
it-
over
I know many
240 of them.
It's more so on the Criterion end.
But it is sort of interesting, like, because like I would say everybody here enjoys like fun, silly, wacky shit. But it is sort of funny to think that even amongst like campy, like B grade films, like what that line of like fun to bad ratio is going to be wildly different for each person. And like as we
Yeah.
saw from the reviews online, is that even though people realize, oh, this is very intentionally like the chintzy B movie, like Hallmark sort of thing, but it's still how that sort of plays off is gonna like be hit or miss depending on what your sort of personal feelings on that is. And plus, there's a lot of people who don't really like the whole let's make an intentionally bad movie because sometimes it's just bad, and that's what that is going to be really subjective.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, and I think that might be like because I really don't know the reason why, but that might be it. Where it feels like they know they're trying to make a bad movie, and a lot of movies like The Room or Sharknado, there's an underlying sincerity that makes it.
I feel like The Room was entirely sincere when it was made.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Oh, he originally said, "Oh no, it's a serious movie."
Tommy Wiseau just trying to retcon his own bullshit.
exactly.
It's a comedy. It's comedy.
And I think when
Bullshit.
when you see people like sincerely trying their best, and you know they swing hard and they miss hard. It I don't know. There's some more endearing aspect versus like this where it's like, all right, and I think too there are some aspects that do seem. I don't know if try hard's the right word, but the cinematography really irked me.
I was
There was
getting mad
Battlefield
wrestling punches.
Yeah.
No, when that camera's just like zoom in on the action, just back and forth,
Yeah.
back and forth. And,
There's a lot of zooming. And then a lot of Battlefield Earth angle. Like where the camera's tilted. I noticed that
like the
several
extreme
times.
Dutch angle and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, it was stuff like that, and then like the scene where the two Scooby Gang people are fucking in the Satan room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this like 360 degree shot of just them fucking, and it's like
It was interspersed with fighting and hiding, though.
that is
It wasn't
true.
just like a 5-minute circle of those two pretending to
It's
fight.
just a helicopter shot of them just porking.
that is true, which does break up. But it was like certain things like that, and then like definitely intentionally playing with like color saturation to the
oh
point.
god, like
yeah,
see-
like if you have an astigmatism or just like human eyes, they cranked up the saturation and color filters extremely high. So like a la Mandy, but like on crack. So like your eyes might hurt after watching this film. Also, photosensitivity warning. There is there's a long protracted sequence of flashing lights for one of the kills. So
Yeah.
heads up for that.
Oh
that
yeah,
strobe was difficult to watch. Like, I get why they did it. I'm glad it was only like 45 seconds.
but
it's-
sometimes
it's
45
tough.
seconds can feel like an hour when it's
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, there was things, and then like the Camaro changes color.
Yes, that fucking car changed colors at least 3 times.
hilarious.
Because when it comes up, it looks black or like a really, really, really deep blue. And then they get to the garage / sheriff station / trailer. And it's just like this royal blue. And then there's certain shots where it's a black again. And then there's just varying degrees of shades of blue this Camaro is.
And see, I think this raises an interesting point, and it's your perception of what their intent was for all of us that really colors our opinions. Because, to you it feels like they might have been, being a little try-hard. They wanted to make a silly, fun movie, like just to say, let's see what we can get away with, ha ha ha. But to me, I got the impression they were all just having fun and fucking around. So it felt a lot more innocent to me than it might have. Innocent's the wrong word, but earnest. It felt more earnest to me than it might have to you guys.
I will say, I did read. I mean, granted, it was online.
The
Take it
internet
with a grain
won't
of
lie.
salt. But
Who would lie on the internet?
oh, they would never do that.
No.
Never. The director. Who was the director of this film?
I forget.
Yeah.
Does it
No,
matter?
the director is, I have it written down. The director is Kevin Lewis.
Well, Kevin Lewis, he apparently has admitted that he is a fan of the director of Mandy, and that's probably why some of those parts felt a little familiar.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And that's one of my behind-the-scenes notes that he said in an interview, because this obviously is a B-movie inspired film. He said some of his inspirations for it were such notable luminary classics as Demonic Toys, Puppet Master, Jack Frost.
Yep.
The one the one with the really bad CG Fang Snowman on it. You've all seen it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I've
Blockbuster
seen the
special
cover.
back in
I haven't
day.
seen the movie.
Because every time everyone mentions Jack Frost, it's either that I get that confused with
Or the Michael Keaton
The
one?
Michael Keaton. That's the one that comes to
That's
my
the only
mind.
one I've
Fair.
seen. I haven't seen the
Funnily
horror
enough,
one.
they have almost the same plot. Except one was a serial killer and a snowman.
It is very, very similar.
The Ginger Dead Man and Critters.
I love all those movies.
Yeah, which
What does that say about me? Fuck, I'm surprised he didn't say Pinocchio's Revenge was one that he enjoyed too.
The only one that I'm just a little bit familiar with was Puppet Master, and I still haven't seen that one.
It was a good time.
I just
Check out Critters too. Critters is fun.
Critters, yeah.
I've seen bits of Critters, and yeah, that's a fun time.
Yeah,
Also-
hearing that's exactly what it feels like he would have been shooting for.
And
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm gonna say it. It's a little counterproductive when you're murdering shit left and right in a place you're supposed to be cleaning.
But he cleans. Every time he kills a puppet, he puts it in a garbage bag and puts it by the door to
Yes.
take out when it's unlocked.
Yes.
All these kills are interspersed with other moments of him continuing to wipe the place down.
It's like Nick Cage is the Flash, because no mere mortal alone, solo, would be able to clean Willy's fucking Wonderland by themselves.
Well, I mean, also too, I mean, he was going ape shit on these motherfuckers.
Do you want to know what he did in the military? He cleaned shit. He cleaned the guns.
Well, it's
I
funny
mean,
you said he
yeah.
went ape shit when he killed the gorilla in the bathroom.
Now that was the best part of the whole movie.
Oh, yeah, the-
Urinal curb stomp, repeated on repeat in my head forever and ever. Amen. It was great.
After
that was
fighting with a
fantastic.
plunger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had a nice little sword fight with a plunger. How did that big fucking gorilla just come out of nowhere? Last stall, boom, you're not here.
Yeah, I think this is a movie, you just don't really question the logic.
You can't. You're not supposed to.
No, obviously not. You throw that shit
Tex
out of the window.
Fucking McAdoo is his name.
Tex, man.
Tex McAdoo.
Yeah, and I think,
Name of my next D&D character after that.
because that is 10 out of 10, one of the best villain names ever.
For sure.
But I think, sans a couple characters, I would probably give it a little higher. The final girl of this movie just has, and I know the poor girl can't help it, but she has a voice that's like nails on a fucking chalkboard.
Yeah.
And when it's
Yeah.
that, and when she's given that long protracted exposition dump, it's like,
It's like monotone, just like one speed, one gear the
yeah,
whole
and
time.
there's a certain inflection in her voice that's just like, I don't know what it is. It just triggers me.
Yeah, she was my least favorite part of the movie, and I don't know.
Cardboard.
I'm not going to say that she's a bad actress because we don't know. No
Yeah.
one's really acting in this movie except Nicolas Cage.
But is he though?
Yeah, I would say so. He was
you
very
can't fine with acting.
He was very expressive with his
He
face and
was.
his grunts.
But that's also like I might be nitpicky. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. If I would have rated this movie higher, if he probably would have had speaking parts.
I thought it was really interesting that he didn't. But I kind of wanted him to say
But
some crazy shit.
I also get that he wants to always experiment and try new things with his acting.
Yeah.
So I'll give him that. But still, I don't have to like
But
it.
Final Girl I can't tell if she's just bad at acting, because this is not a movie where the director's gonna be like, no, you need to do that better. It's not gonna happen. They're not going for that. Yeah. Or if she's just trying to be as stiff as possible because that's the final girl trope.
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the script.
Yeah,
because she definitely gets the worst lines
for sure.
And it doesn't matter if you're fucking Daniel Day-Lewis. There's some of those lines you couldn't pull off dramatically, even though it's like you're not supposed to.
Because I mean, look at Ewan McGregor in the prequels; those lines are dog shit, but he makes them all sound fantastic. So,
yeah,
like I feel like some of those lines are terrible, but I think like with better direction, it could have been better. But I mean, like I wrote this one down because this is a quote just to let you know what they know what they're doing. This town has a dark history. That's how they start the exposition dump. Like, that's not something any serious movie is gonna say.
Oh, obviously.
So, but it's like that one. Yeah, I don't even think Ewan McGregor could make that one sound halfway decent.
Yeah, and I think she just got the unfortunate job of having to have all this like
being like the one sort of main character in a film that has like this really intentionally bad or not, it's still bad in a certain way of like the dialogue and sort of delivering it. So like whatever her pedigree is, it's definitely stacked against her to deliver like her lines regularly on top of just like the one of the two expository monologues.
And she's the straight man. Like she has to be the straight man of the movie, so she can't be funny. But she does have some excellent what the fuck looks. Like when she notices Cage doing all these things, her face for that was incredible. That's why I think she's a good actress in a rough spot.
Yeah. Because like some of the other Scooby Gang, granted there's that one guy who gets killed in the epileptic scene who just, I don't think he says a single thing in the entire movie.
Not true. He did have a funny bit. I forgot what he called the weed he grew. Do you happen to remember what it was called?
No clue, I think.
Yeah, no clue. He's like, what's in this shit? No clue. I thought that was funny. That was funny.
That might have been his only line.
Yeah.
It was, well, kudos, dude. It was a good one.
For being the nerd in the Scooby Gang, I guess he looked like a nerd.
Yeah.
Who knew how to grow weed.
Yeah.
I will say one of my favorite kills in the movie comes at, like really kind of surprises you when Nighty Night just shanks that dude from behind.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the asshole who like the one dude that no one liked.
Yeah.
Because at that point in the movie I was just checked the fuck out. I'm like, oh my, because this was like an extended sequence of no Cage, no, it was just the kids.
Yeah,
and
Scooby Gang. Yeah.
I'm just like. And then, like, it literally just comes out of nowhere, and dude gets fucking ganked in the back, and I'm like, okay, I'm back in this.
Because at that point, I was legitimately worried. I was like, oh, no, the kids have shown up. We're going to watch them get killed one by one. It's going to be the spooky part of the movie. It's going to be everything we've seen before. I'm not looking forward to this. And then they're all fucking dead in 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say about the movie that I do appreciate is they didn't bullshit. They got right to the fucking point. It's like, we know what movie we're watching.
Yeah.
Let's get to the good bits.
And then the one dude who wanted to fuck Survivor Girl trusts the animatronic puppet like a dumbass. Like, no, this one's different. And then dead.
It's like, oh, I'm saying that I'm different, therefore it must be true.
Well, that part got me thinking. Did we see like any sequence of that particular animatronic doing anything evil prior to that scene?
Prior, no, but there was a flashback immediately after.
I know, that's what fucking, I was stupid. Like, you still had like the essence of oil. First of all, I knew it was going to be a fucking bad one, but come on, you could have let that one marinate for a minute instead of the very next scene. Oh yeah, this one's a bad one too, with the fucking like ripcord tongue.
Well, that's supposed to be the boat. Like the audience is yelling, "Don't trust it, you moron! That's a monster!" Like, of course,
they don't give you time
knows.
to say that.
Well, as soon as he pops his stupid head up, like, how do I know you're different? Like, you stupid son of a bitch. How?
I like to call that one Discount James Vanderbeek.
That's very accurate. Yes.
Because I was going to say, going over the animatronics, there's 8 over the course of the film. We have Nighty Night, Artie Alligator, Ozzy Ostrich, Gus Gorilla, Tito Turtle, Cammy Chameleon, Siren Sarah, and Willy Weasel.
Siren Sarah was fucking creepy.
And also, I will say, she's the only one not on the poster because she's explicitly Tinkerbell.
Yes.
Just straight up Tinkerbell, just in a blue dress.
And really creepy. Because, like, I don't think that was a pup. That was just some lady with a fake plaster head.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the rest were like people in suits.
And, I think I read
contortionist or some such. It was like she was super
I think
weird.
she was a ballerina, like for real, I believe, like a trained dancer.
Something like that, where like the way she was moving with strobe lights and the creepy lights, and then the weird plastic face.
Yeah, and then she does like the whole like Glasgow smile, rip open mouth.
Like she was fucking scary. The rest of them, yeah, it's what you expect, but Siren Sarah sucks in like the best way.
Like I thought it was funny they called her Siren Sarah when she's just a regular ass fairy, not like a mermaid or something.
Mm.
So, sorry, my little here nerd actually is showing.
Actually, she's not a siren.
I'm actually surprised we haven't brought this up yet. Granted, I've never played this game. I just knew it was a big thing. It's like obviously like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Like this is the movie.
Yeah, because it was originally supposed to be a Five Nights at Freddy's movie that fell through, and they were like, "We still got the script. Let's shoot it."
Yeah, it was like we're already here, we're wasting daylight. Let's go.
Which kind of like goes hand in hand, kind of sort of with the whole Johnny Cage, Nick Cage thing.
Yeah,
like you didn't have the rights, you can't do that. It's a circle.
Everything's a circle. It all
Everything's
comes
a
back
circle.
around.
Because I will say the screenwriter of the film named G.O. Parsons. This movie was based off his script for his 2016 short film Wally's Wonderland, where he wanted sort of like to get bigger into acting world or to get the music business. So he put his script on the Blood list, which is like the blacklist, but for unproduced horror and thriller films. And one day Nick Cage discovered the film is like, I want in this bitch. So he decided I'm going to star in this film and also help produce it.
I love him so much. Like that shit right there, and that picture going around of him in the pink leather jacket with the Superman symbols in the wings. That's why we started the podcast.
That's the greatest fucking jacket I've ever seen in my life.
I would wear that every day.
Oh my god!
Regardless
I want
of
that.
weather.
I want it. Like, I would have to have like a Nick Cage like extravagant purchase moment. Like, in the unfortunate time of his demise, I'm gonna have to go full Conrad mode and track down that fucking jacket because it's gonna be mine.
So just a bidding war over his personal effects.
Yeah, and also, I haven't had time to like dig deeper into this, but the company that distributed this film, Screen Media.
Yeah, Screen Media Films.
I saw it at the beginning of another movie, forgot what it was, but at the bottom, caught my eye. It's a chicken soup for the soul company. Like, I never read those books, but I knew they were a thing, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Well,
They have a movie empire based off of like old books?
Well, no, actually, Chicken Soup for the Soul was a because they were acquired by Screen Media. So actually, they bought Chicken Soup, not the other way around.
But still, that's just weird.
And like, just like looking
unexpected.
over some of the films they made, it's like these really like tiny little bonker
Cage
films.
Fighter, starring John Moxley from
Yeah.
AEW.
And they have a movie we talked about earlier last year, The Bad Batch, starring Jason Momoa and Keanu Reeves,
God.
set in an apocalypse full of cannibals.
Oh, wow.
That movie's not good.
Also, I just remembered where I saw the sheriff from. The sheriff lady. She was the bartender in episode 1 of American Gods.
Oh,
I just wanted to put that out there.
how is that show?
I loved the first season, and I enjoyed the second season well enough, but they changed show writers between each season. That's why Gillian Anderson left after season 1, because she's married to one of the showrunners from season 1. So she left, and they got some more people, and it was less good. And then between season 2 and season 3, which I don't think has started yet, they fired like 4 or 5 people, including Orlando Jones, who was the best part. He played Mr. Anansi. And
Also, spoilers for American Gods, everyone.
yeah, he played Mr. Nancy. He's fucking gone now. And he spoke out about it because it was racially motivated. Because his character is very, very, fighting for equality, that sort of thing, standing up.
Yeah.
And they didn't like it. And so he came out and was like, look, they fired me for this reason. And then apparently the lead guy, Ricky Starks, I think his name, and the one who plays Shadow, was texting him like, hey, man, you're making this worse for all of us. You need to just calm down. And so Orlando Jones was like, you need to back the hell up or I'm going to show everybody this shit. And so he didn't back the hell up, so he put it all over Twitter. And now everybody is like, okay, we're Team Orlando. Fuck American Gods.
Which is unfortunate because that book is really good.
The book is so good. And the guy who plays Mr. Wednesday, whose name I can usually remember.
Oh, Ian McShane.
Thank you, McShane. I kept wanting to say McConnell, but that's a musician I saw on TikTok. Ian McConnell. He's really good. But no, Ian McShane is fantastic as Mr. Wednesday.
Oh yeah, like
just in general, really.
When I was reading the book, I was like, he would be a perfect Mr. Wednesday.
Yeah. So I love the first season. I liked the second season. I'm gonna watch the third season, and I'm probably gonna be pretty disappointed.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna watch it.
I'm actually surprised out of all the things Sarah Grant's been in, that's the one thing that came to mind first for you was American Gods.
Well, I mean, that's just what I've seen the most of. I've rewatched the first season a few times. It's really good.
I totally forgot she was in Speed. And if I remember correctly, wasn't she in Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything?
Yes.
Julie Newmar?
Yes.
Starring John Leguizamo, who is fantastic.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that movie is
Like,
fucking fantastic.
A cinematic gay icon, Julie Newmar.
God, that fucking first 5 minutes had us all screaming.
Did any of you guys see The Pest with John Leguizamo and Aries Spears?
A very, very, very,
God,
very
I've
long
heard
time
tell
ago.
about that movie.
That was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, and I still love it.
I've heard it's something.
It's something. It's better than Spawn, though, because he was also in Spawn.
Yeah, he was.
But he was great in Spawn.
He was
the
clown.
best part of Spawn,
Yeah.
for sure. Michael Jai White did his best. I love Michael Jai White, but it was not a
Michael
good
Jai
movie.
White was Spawn in the
He
old.
was
Yes.
Spawn, bro.
Holy shit!
Spawn, Black Dynamite, Dark Knight. He's the guy who got a pencil through his face.
Wait, was
No. He was the one with the knives in the mouth.
No, the guy that got the pencil in his face was the Asian guy.
Oh yeah, he was the one leading the group of the guy that got a pencil in his face.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's
That was a
Wonderland.
movie that we watched.
Look, we're going to talk about a lot of Cage on this show. But we can talk about other shit.
Yeah.
Like WandaVision. Why aren't you watching it yet? Pause the episode. We'll wait.
Also, I just wanted to bring this up. Granted, little tidbit of information. I heard months ago that there was a possible Face-Off reboot happening.
Mm-hmm.
But now I am seeing headlines saying that this is now going to be a direct sequel. So, oh my God, what's going to happen here?
Well, Cage probably won't be in it because his character is quite dead.
Oh, but they can do shit because, movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, Face Off is not known for its realism.
What do you mean? Like, how is that? That's the most realistic movie since anything Daniel Day-Lewis has been in.
All I could say is I cannot fucking wait for that episode.
Oh,
That's
same
one
here.
of my personal favorites.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's the one. Like
But-
when Justin came to me, I was like, Face
Here,
Off.
I would be down if both John Travolta and Nick Cage signed on it because Travolta's now balder and crazier.
And desperately needs a good movie.
Yes, like for a millennia now. And Nick Cage is it's fucking Nick Cage.
Damn
He also
right.
needs to stop being a Scientologist.
I mean, that would be helpful. He's a shit person.
Yeah.
But I don't know which is worse, is Scientology or The Fanatic?
Which I still need to see. I know y'all tell me I don't need to.
You're
but
going to
I'm
be real sad.
I know.
It's-
I'm always sad. Why can't I just continue?
But no, Ken, I support your desire to watch it because we didn't have a good time watching doesn't mean that you won't.
But I still might hate it.
I mean,
It's very possible.
I was 5 sheets in the
Like
wind
I
watching
have,
it.
I have seen. Well, let me rephrase. I've started videos about this movie because after I heard the first line of dialogue is "I can't talk right now. I gotta poop," I stopped the video and I said, I have to watch this movie.
Oh yeah.
No,
I have to watch it.
John, who do we find out today has a very John Travolta fanatic haircut today?
Oh, Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz straight up has the John
I don't know if
Travolta-
that's real or if that was Photoshop.
It has to be Photoshop. Because last I saw a picture of him like a couple days ago. He looked, well, not normal. He still looks like Ted Cruz. But, oh my.
Wait, let me see this shit.
Okay. No, it looks like he just got a bad barber.
Oh my God, that is the fanatic haircut.
That looks like his barber hates him, which is fair because
that's like a
it's Ted
beaver
Cruz.
mullet.
So for reference, the fanatic haircut, it's a mullet going down the back of the head, but it's faded on the sides and buzzed on the top.
Like a Caesar thing happening at the top.
It's just, it's not a good look.
And
It's not.
one last bit on the Face Off. Apparently, there is a running fan cast right now for Face Off 2 that people seem to be putting some stock into. Is what it leads to be Robert Pattinson and Tom Hardy.
I mean, if they want to make it serious, sure, that'd be fine.
But I would like to see them get wacky because I think they can get wacky.
I know
would be
Tom
fun.
Hardy can get wacky.
Yeah, I've seen
Fuck it.
Venom. Tom Hardy can get wacky.
Give me Jack Black and Seth Rogen. Fuck it. Why not? You'd watch that shit.
I wouldn't pay for it.
I didn't say pay for it.
I
I said
would
watch it.
Fucking Jack Black in a Speedo on TikTok is something I've seen and I can't etch it
Yeah,
out.
I see it a lot. He does that a lot.
I know.
And it's like I've more or less seen his cock, and it's like
Well, of course you have. He does cock push-ups all the time. It's very strong. Tenacious D reference.
Yeah. I mean, granted, they could totally do a direct sequel, like with 2 completely different characters, but I don't know if that's just me being a purist. I would like to see 2 older, crazier versions of those characters again. I think that would be fantastic.
Fuck yeah. Well, that's why people like the first one. Because Nicolas Cage is so good at kicking ass that, as in Willy's Wonderland, he can kick a jukebox to get it to start playing and then fight 2 different animatronics while handcuffed.
Yeah.
and
With zip ties, which he then breaks the fuck out of just by flexing
just
real
like
hard.
bam.
Pop! Oh, it's so good.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes, we're all overwhelmed with how fantastic that scene was. And that was right before his 3rd weasel stare down. Because, the Willy is the weasel, who is the main serial killer soul that was put into these animatronics. And also the only one that gives him any trouble in a fight.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has to go back for a second round for Willy because he has to tape 2 drumsticks together and make a blackjack out of a burlap sack and soda cans.
Yeah, the final energy drinks that he did not consume during his breaks. But I also loved when Tex McAdoo walked in and saw the place was clean. And Cage just smiles at him, holds his hand out to get his keys for his car.
That was a cool moment.
That was
Yeah.
incredible.
Until Freebird starts playing.
Fucking Freebird played.
God.
I'm
damn
sorry, the movie.
Freebird.
Like, and granted, I'm not a fan of Leonard Skinner because growing up in Alabama, you hear "Sweet Home Alabama" on ad nauseum
Every 5 seconds.
every 5
And
seconds.
they make you salute.
Yeah, they do.
Well, apparently Mississippi adopted that goddamn song as their national anthem too because they treated. Oh, god damn it! I have my own story. There's a reason why I cringed at Freebird, but finish, please.
But yeah, like, and I'm not a huge fan of Freebird, even though the guitar solo at the end is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
However, Freebird's one of those songs you got to earn. This movie did not. This movie did not earn Freebird. I'm sorry.
The bar for earning Freebird is so fucking low at this point. Right?
Yes, because Leonard Skinner needs money.
Yeah, like, look,
That's the bar. Right
I
there.
despise Freebird as a song. This is the only time I've ever liked hearing Freebird.
Nope.
Because it starts playing, Survivor Girl walks up because she's made her way back from the turtle that's on the road and the dead cop who won't stop breathing, and just looks at Nick Cage because her adopted family's now dead. Her real family's been dead for 15 years. And Cage just looks at her, gets in the car, and she gets in the car with him.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. The movie was like 90 minutes, and I feel like to earn that, you need something that's longer, like an epic, like both Kill Bill movies together.
Look, no one is allowed to use Freebird anymore. After Kingsman, no one's allowed. I'm sorry, that's the best usage of that song in a movie.
still
in my
have yet
opinion.
Yeah,
see
no,
that
I have to agree with that. Yeah, that was
Everyone-
really good.
Everyone else is grounded from using Freebird. It can't be done.
All right.
Should not be done. Chicken Soup for the Soul movie incorporated.
Do you hear
TNT.
that, Hollywood? 4 dudes in Alabama who like Nicolas Cage are telling you no more Freebird.
Freebird, you cancel.
And also,
Don't make us come over there.
And also, I used to work at this shitty ass fucking gas station that I had to drive 30 minutes to get to. It was not fun. And I had third shift, which was 10 o'clock at night to 6 a.m. the next morning.
Ooh, graveyard.
They had a radio there. I just like kept it on wherever the fuck they wanted. It was usually the rock station. I just let it go. But every night, damn near at midnight, they would play Freebird, like on the dot, like it's fucking New Year or something. Just playing Freebird, and it just drove me insane. But working a third shift at a gas station will drive anybody insane.
That's true.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that the song's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what song is good for being more than 10 minutes? It's the full version of I Would Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf.
Yeah.
That song is like 45 minutes, and it's great.
song ever.
I love that song.
It's a great song.
Yeah, there are a lot of songs that are more than 5 minutes that I enjoy. Freebird's not one of those.
No, that's fair. Freebird could be a minute and a half. I'd still hate it.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be the first Nicolas Cage movie to feature Lynyrd Skynyrd.
True. Very true.
There's a lot of people angry right now. A lot of people.
Well, like,
the one Leonard Skinner fan who's listening to this show is like, he said it wrong.
And then the other one guy who's listening to the show, because there's only 2 of them, he's like, yeah, no, that Cannon's right. Yeah, fuck Leonard Skinner.
You cause one guy to have an aneurysm, and the other guy's like, you know what? Sure.
And we want to thank both of you for listening.
Thank you very much.
We're doing the Lord's work.
Our Lord Nicolas Cage, the one true God. So,
Trying to think of any other moments that stand out.
I believe that's all my notes, honestly.
Yeah, we pretty much covered like.
I did love how they ran over the turtle that was still in the road.
Oh, yeah,
said,
that
I
was
my
pretty-
balls there at the end.
My balls.
And the fact that Tex McAdoo and random tow truck dude
Who looks like Harvey Weinstein.
he's very Weinstein-y. They got blown the fuck up by
Yeah.
Siren Sarah there at the end.
So I'm sniffing a sequel.
And I just loved how he called Tex McAdoo's like looking at Nicolas Cage driving off, and like that's one tough hombre. Like that made me happy.
Also, can we talk about how the explosion happened miles behind them, and somehow in full-blown drive angry mode, Nick Cage for some reason has flames in the front of his sunglasses as they're driving away.
I don't think that was related. I think that's just how
That was
Cage's
just a thing.
glasses-
That was creative choice. I
Yeah.
know it was.
It's
But
like-
still, it was just.
It's like Michael Bolton's. Like Nicolas Cage's glasses just have fire in them. It's like Michael Bolton's hair back when it was long. It just blows. There's no wind. It just does that.
It has a mind of its own.
It's like Nick Cage is just staring at Guy Fieri's shirt.
Tell me how I'm supposed to live without you.
I do love Michael Bolton.
This movie definitely wins an award for best sex scene with Nick Cage and Pinball Machine.
It was a
Like,
good one.
That is true. It was really awkward how they were juxtaposing that and the 360 teenage sex scene. That was a little weird, but him like basically coming his britches. To
Like
the
I was
fucking-
just waiting for the bow, 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 bow. Sorry, I don't know the name of the song, but I just know how it goes.
So yeah, I loved Willy's Wonderland.
It, like I said, it had its fun moments. What I enjoyed, but what I didn't enjoy overcome what I did. But again, as always, there's a lot of Cage to cover,
Yeah.
and like some of these are like some of my favorite movies of all time. So.
And some of them we're all going to universally hate.
Oh yeah,
Oh
And-
yeah.
And I think
that's why I love the idea of this podcast, because I knew we all weren't going to agree.
yeah.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I was surprised. I figured Jonathan would have gripes because hipster indie bullshit. But yeah, I didn't think Cannon would hate this movie more than anybody else.
No, actually, I didn't. He gave it the lowest score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
but
born
he's
Cam-
praised it more.
I said there were
And you
good
lowered
spots.
yours because of the grape soda.
Oh, that was a bit.
Was it?
But now I'm doing it, so fuck it. No.
That's
Letterboxd is law.
it's
The
just-
only review that I've lowered my score on is Rise of Skywalker.
Don't worry. When we do Left Behind, your score is going to
You
start.
see, I was for the lower half of that one, but I'm kind of looking forward to that one as well.
Oh.
Because in sort of like a proto version of this podcast, I watched Left Behind.
Would it
Yeah.
be cool if we just like do like a quick little round table? What are some Nick Cage movies that we're all excited about in the future?
Yeah, let's do that.
We're new and fresh. We're still like ironing out
All
the
right, you
kinks
go first,
here.
Cam.
Yeah, Cannon's your idea. You
Okay.
start.
In my humble opinion, his last legit good movie, like across the board, Lord of War.
I love Lord of War.
I love that movie so fucking much. And of course, Con Air and Face Off are another two of my like top like action movies. Silly fucking great action movies of all time. And for the most part, after looking at a list, there's a lot of Cage I haven't seen. So I'm excited to see the things that I haven't.
Because like even with Left Behind, he's good in it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's the only good part. He was acting his ass off, and I'm excited for that one.
Because that movie is something,
It made me miss the Kirk Cameron version.
and that is a very low bar.
Yeah,
You have to actively try.
Weren't there like several of those?
3. One of them had Gary Busey.
So less than the books, apparently.
Yeah, no, they never finished because those books were garbage and the movies were garbage and the whole movement behind it's
Oh
garbage.
my god, my mom had a roommate at one point that had like all of those books. And I was bored in the house, and I was like, a
In
part
the
of me
house
was like,
bored?
maybe I should bored in the house bored, making my titties bounce like Batista. No, but no, I almost read them. I didn't read them though.
For me, part of the show I think would be a great vehicle for me to sort of explore some of the Cage classics I never got to see. Like I haven't seen like Face Off and some of the movies like that.
I can't wait.
Right, I'm supposed to give me a chance to rewatch Con Air because I haven't seen Con Air since I was 7 years old.
So good.
I love that movie so much.
But I am excited to see. I want to see the Ghost Riders. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
But one of them, yeah.
I mean, look, however good or bad the movie is, we're gonna have a good time on the show.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's
no,
make
it was
no
a good time.
mistake.
Yeah.
The Ghost Riders. I said I'm strangely curious about Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I liked it.
One caught my attention. One of his like smaller, older films, Birdie, where he has a friend who thinks he's a bird and he's trying to help his friend realize his dreams.
I haven't even seen that
What?
one yet. So
Yeah, so that's on the 111 Cage movie list.
For me, ones a lot of the ones y'all said, like Con Air, Face Off. I've not seen those movies in years. Want to revisit those. Raising Arizona. Never got a chance to see that
Me
one.
either.
So
Me
good.
either.
Even though I'm not a huge fan of this movie, I want to revisit Wild at Heart. What was it? And Adaptation,
Adaptation's very good.
the Charlie Kaufman Spike Jones movie.
I've always been curious about that one. Never marked it off the list.
Like I'm excited to hear you guys shit on Left Behind. That's going to be super fun. For me.
Oh yeah,
But also, like I wanted you guys to see The Color Out of Space
Yeah.
because
Oh.
that, like, I have no doubt that you're all going to think that's a very well-made, well-done movie because it's wonderful. It's Richard Stanley directing it, and Cage is in it, and he's incredible. I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for you guys to watch Bringing Out the Dead.
oh that's the Martin Scorsese
Yes,
one,
the
right?
Scorsese one.
where he's
Oh,
like the
shit.
paramedic.
Yeah,
or something?
paramedic who's fucked up all night.
Oh,
It's
hell
like it's
yeah.
really good. And then the only one I'm not looking forward to is the one he did with Cher. I don't remember
Was
the
that
name of that one.
Moonstruck?
Yeah, I don't like Cher.
I've seen one scene, the snap out of it. That's about
Yeah,
it.
no, there's a lot of fun backstory about that movie, but I just don't like Cher.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I freaked out Darwin with that
way
clap.
way to offend the gay community, Chim.
I
But-
just don't like Cher.
He doesn't believe in life after love.
Evidently not.
I mean, I just don't like Cher.
What did Cher do to you? Did she piss in your Cheerios?
No, my mom loved Cher, so I heard Cher all the goddamn time.
Okay,
That'll do it.
That
That'll
makes sense.
fucking
That's
do it.
also why I refuse to ever listen to or be in a room where I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett is playing. Will not do it, cannot do it. You cannot make me do it. I will shank you.
Yeah, that song.
That was
is
my mom's favorite song. She would yell it loudly. I love her to death, but she was so tone deaf. Could not carry a tune if you held the bucket for her. She every time she just blasts the shit, and I hate that song with every fiber of my. And it's not even Joan Jett's fault. It's not a bad song. I just can't listen to it.
And it's a really repetitive song.
Super repetitive.
It's like we're not going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I like that song, but it's very repetitive. I just can't do it. Just can't do it. And I feel that way about Cher. I don't like Cher.
Cher is. I can't believe I'm defending Cher here, but
Yeah, I will say when we get to the Moonstruck, there will be some Cher defenders happening,
And that's fine. I just don't like Cher.
But let's not forget her best role ever, playing herself in the film "Stuck on You."
Why did you make me remember that exists?
It exists.
You're a bastard.
What? You don't like that movie?
No,
I actually like that movie.
I don't like Cher.
We know you don't like Cher, but
Yep.
we have to answer the hot
Put that
questions.
on a fucking T-shirt.
We have to give everybody what they really want to know. The hottest question on the message boards that don't exist.
Right, with the
Yeah.
two guys who listen to the show so far.
Who are both Leonard Skinner fans.
And also kind of sort of Cher fans.
I mean,
sorry.
since we're making them up, why not? They can be anything.
Does Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse count?
For what?
It's a Nick Cage movie.
Yeah, of
He's in
course.
it.
because that's what I was going to ask. If are we only doing Cage movies?
If Cage is in it, we're doing it.
Okay, 'cause I was
There's
gonna
going to be
say,
an episode on the history of swear words.
we can do that that pachinko commercial he was in Japan.
Fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
We'll do an episode with like the history of swear words, the commercials he's done, the weird shit that he's just in for a little bit. Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Fuck it, everything Cage.
I still have to see that.
It's so good.
The bits that I've seen at the shop, I was like, yeah,
It's hilarious.
because all I
love that
hear is
movie.
the show is trash, but the movie's great.
I love the show.
Yeah?
People just mad about the show because, like, well, they took away the good Teen Titans for Teen Titans. No, Teen Titans was canceled for like 4 years, and then they brought the original
So they're
cast
just
and
bitter.
showrunners back for Teen Titans Go. They're just mad. I'll tell you the moment that won me over for Teen Titans Go. They are in Robin's room, and in the background, on a shelf, completely unattended to, there's no attention paid to it whatsoever. There's an urn with the name Jason taped across from it with a crowbar leaned up against that shit. And that is fucking hilarious. And I love that show.
Oh, wasn't Nick Cage in one of the previews for Grindhouse?
Yeah, he was.
You see, I saw
we'll throw
that.
that in there
I
too.
don't
Fuck it.
remember that. I've seen that.
It wasn't like Werewolves of the SS.
I didn't really like Grindhouse.
I like Planet
didn't dig
Terror
it.
more than Death Proof. Yeah.
I like Death Proof better, but I just love Kurt Russell.
Like Kurt Russell's great. That movie's way too fucking long.
Yeah, no, it would have been better like 30-minute shorts.
And the funny part is, it's not even that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think like the movies together they cut.
Oh
some
yeah,
of it.
together it's long as fuck. But
yeah,
I mean, like individually.
yeah. Planet Terror was fun, but
But yeah, no, if Cage is in it, we're going to talk about it. Because
Hell
no
yeah.
one's going to cage our greatness.
No one.
no one.
Because
No
I did
one.
some research. Apparently, there's some competition out there.
Yeah.
We got to be number one.
Yeah, well,
That's
there's one other dude who he runs the subreddit on Reddit. He's got a podcast, but I haven't listened to it. I'm sure he's a nice guy,
Yeah.
but we're better.
I will say
Yeah.
when I posted
Humble brag. Better.
when I posted the Cage of Greatness on the AYC's Instagram, there was an account that apparently is also Cage related. There's just like, hell yeah, boys, I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
Go.
Oh, good.
Shout
See?
out if you're not a bad person, shout out to Big Broham on Instagram.
Right. Unless he's like a Nazi or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
that-
which case, we don't like that guy.
We do not
we do
endorse or support Big Broham if he's a bad person.
Right. But, the one true religion of cageism, we're very open, we're very inclusive, except to Cher.
No share.
Oh, fine.
Which is
Cher
tangent-
can join.
But Thomas Jefferson, however, can fuck right
no,
on
fuck
off.
Thomas Jefferson. That dude sucks.
He was really bad.
So,
Piece of shit.
Like even Martha Washington was like, "Fuck that guy."
Like, everybody's like, fuck that guy.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Because he fucked everybody.
He did fuck everybody.
That's why everybody says fuck him.
Yeah. Fuck Thomas Jefferson. And I think that'll do it for us today on Caging Greatness. We thank you so much for listening. And we hope that all two of you enjoy it. And now we're going to do our plugs.
And tell your two friends. So we
Yes,
have-
tell your two friends, and then they'll tell two friends, and it'll be a pyramid scheme of Cage.
Multi-level marketing.
That's right. Cannon, tell the guys where they can find you, both of our fans.
Well, both of you can find me. You can actually follow my journey into the world of Cage on Letterboxd at That Cannon Guy. You can also follow me, again, at That Cannon Guy on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, pretty much everything. It's the same across the board. Yep.
This is Patrick. Thank you all for listening. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at John Lost Name of My Art, on Facebook at John Lost Name Art.
And my name is Jonathan. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIIBOY24 and JohnOwnSon12 on Letterboxd.
And I, of course, am Justin. You can find me anywhere online that has Captain Shimmy in it. That's probably me. It's Captain Shimmy's Kinda Art, Captain Shimmy's Almost Music. You can find me at the comic strip in Tuscaloosa. That's the business where I own and work. And you can always listen to us here on the show. And just remember, never let anyone cage your greatness, especially Cher.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
How absurd.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
How absurd.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.